Okay, guys. So what you're going to be doing today is doing an EdPuzzle over literary devices. So kind of like how we did the Kahoot on Tuesday, with playing the musical clips, and then you had to guess which type of literary devices used. The same is going to go for this. You should be pretty familiar since we went over the notes on Monday and did some practice throughout the week through the Kahoot, as well as the Robert Burns poem, A Red, Red Rose, and the Gym Class Heroes song, Stereo Hearts. So for this, make sure you grab a piece of paper because you're about to take this review EdPuzzle, and we're going to first give you the definitions and then give you the EdPuzzle questions to see what you know. Okay, I will say that there is one term that we're not as familiar with, which is a pun. And a pun is when you have a play on words or a type of language joke. So the example that they give you here is that they're going to name their iPod the Titanic because it's always sinking. So that's in reference to the Titanic ship that sank. In reference to the ship sinking. The word sinking is used with multiple meanings. So sinking can also mean downloading. So a lot of puns you'll see is just a play on multiple meaning words. Okay, so as you're going through, it's going to stop you and give you the brief definition. And then later on, you will have your EdPuzzle questions to answer. Make sure you follow through and watch the whole video so that you can get credit for this. Okay, so we have alliteration, which is several words in a row sharing the same sound. Allusion, a reference is something that you have to know to get what the artist means. Hyperbole, an exaggerated statement not meant to be taken seriously. Metaphor, a comparison without using like or as. Onomatopoeia, a sound wrote out the same way that it sounds. Personification, giving human qualities to non-human objects. A pun, and this is the one we're not as familiar with, is a play on words. So example, change my iPod's name to Titanic, it's sinking. Simile, a comparison using like or as. Okay, so you have artificial, analytical, all of those words start with the same first letter. So what is that literary device called? Okay, so the song says, she's as hard as AC/DC, she gets my thunder struck. She's a star, four-leaf clover, but I won't press my luck. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. Okay, so they're saying the different sounds that the animals make. Cat goes meow, dog goes woof. What type of literary device is that? I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one. I walk alone. Okay, so he says we're gonna rock this club. We're gonna go all night. We're gonna light it up like it's dynamite. So, what kind of literary device uses like? Light it up like dynamite. Okay, so feel my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. So he's guided by a beating heart, guided by a heart. What kind of literary device is used there? Okay, so he says, yeah, I like to win, got more points than a box of pins. Okay, so he says, when you feel like you're 3 feet tall. Okay, so Gautier says, when you said you felt so happy you could die. Okay, so now we're going to review with you the correct answer so you are aware. Okay, so in alphabet aerobics song, he uses alliteration. The reason for this is the song has multiple words in a row sharing the same sound. So artificial, analytically, artful, amazing, they all start with the letter A and have that same A sound. Okay, so in this song, the artist uses illusion. He's referring to AC/DC, so you have to know the song by AC/DC called Thunderstruck to get the reference. So he's referring to another musical artist. Okay, so in our 500 miles song, the artist uses hyperbole because he's exaggerating about how many miles he has to walk. And he's exaggerating about walking 1,000 miles. He's not meaning it seriously. Okay, so in our song, what does the fox say? They're using onomatopoeia because they're referring to the sounds that the animals make. So remember, onomatopoeia is the word when the word represents the sound that it would make. Okay, so for this answer, I would have accepted metaphor or personification. For that reason, the example that they give you about how it's a metaphor is that he's walking down a boulevard of broken dreams. So his dreams have been broken and he's walking down a road of depression. I also would have accepted personification because he's talking about the city sleeping, and sleeping is not something that a city can do. It's giving a human like quality to a non human object. Okay, so in Tayo Cruz's song, he's using simile when he says we're gonna light it up like dynamite. He's using a comparison using like or as. Okay, so in Avicii's song, he's using personification when he says he's guided by a beating heart. He's giving a human quality to a non human object because a heart is not something that can physically guide you. Okay, so in Big Wheel's song, he's saying he's got more points than a box of pins. He's making a pun here because he's saying that he has more points than a box of pins because pins have many sharp points. Okay, so in the 3 Foot Tall song, he's using simile. When he says it makes you feel like you're 3 foot tall, he's comparing different things using like. Okay, so in the song Somebody That I Used to Know, he's using hyperbole when he says, when you said you felt so happy you could die. This is an exaggerated statement, not meant to be taken literally.